Hello again, everyone. This is Randy, your sewing machine man, and here we have another great machine to look at. It's a Kenmore, and it's from the, I guess, early 70s, late 60s, made in Japan, the 158.904. And this little guy, it has the built-in zigzag front load 15 class, which I think is awesome. It has a 3-needle position, which is like state-of-the-art still. Push this in, slide it over, make sure your needle's up whenever you do these things. You push it in, slide it over, lock in position to get your zigzag. This thing would be equivalent to like about a 65 Cadillac that just rolled off the assembly line. I mean, it is just a perfect little machine. Cast iron, weighs a ton and a half. I always say it weighs a ton. This one weighs a ton and a half. I took the cover off off the gearbox down below, and there are two glistening steel gears there that look like maybe something you'd see in the rear differential of an F-150. They're just completely precision and awesome. Up in the top's got a brass zigzag gear for your zigzag movement. It's got a fractional horsepower motor. This has had a new motor put on it. It wasn't the original Sears, but it was a replacement Sears, so it's got a new motor on it. So this was bought back in the day. I think this was grandma's machine. Granddaughter's got it now, or maybe daughter. I think granddaughter has it. These folks are kind of young, but it needed a few things. It needed a new belt. It had this goofy old stretch belt that, gets you over the hump, but gets you going, but it's not good. It's crystallized and hard. And of course, it had the original bob winder ring, which was still supple and lively, but it has some flat spots on it. So I put a new bob winder ring. The bob and winder deal goes over here. It's a tiny little thing. And I bought these back in the day. I've had them forever, and they're still good. But they're just basically little O-rings, and they're bob winder rings. O-rings, if you're using them in a fitting, it's a bob winder ring. If you're putting them on a Kenmore 158.904. So got that going. Winds a perfect bobbin. Just the clutch, did all the good stuff. A new belt on it. And if you ever take the top of one of these off, you got a screw here and a screw here. This lever, when you lift this up, it also disengages the cam followers. So when you lift this up, there's a lever in the back that disengages the cam followers. You can see it back there hiding away. See, it goes away like that. So if you take this top off, it's not just a matter of putting it back on. It won't go on unless you make sure you line up the little follower back here underneath, back underneath, that goes with a cam follower. It has to go between that. So when you lift it up, it pushes it to the right and disengages the cam follower. So you put a cam in. It comes with a set of cams that does all these doodad stitches, all these real pretty doodad stitches. Not a lot of functional stuff, but makes every kind of a fancy doodad you want to make. And the best part about it is that it's so smooth, so precise. It's just a real cool machine. And I get a little movement now because I have it sitting on the tabletop, and there's some motion underneath there because it's moving parts are pushing against the carpet. But put it on a straight stitch, put it whatever needle position you want it to be on. And this little made in Japan is like a Lexus that hums. It is just so sweet. And it'll fly with a fractional horsepower motor. It's got a lot of torque, and it'll get up and go. Nice little machine. And these are out there. They made thousands and thousands of these. They're somewheres folded down in a cabinet, covered with dust. They need to be serviced. They need to be cleaned. Maybe a belt, maybe a bob winder, but it's not going to be anything that can't be overcome. And when you get done, you have a machine that you can stay at home in the cabinet. Don't lug it around because it weighs a bunch. Take your little plastic Fantastic to the quilt retreats, and you got to have a light one for that. Save this one at home for doing the heavy sewing, and I mean heavy sewing. Underneath here, everything's just like an industrial. Very, very well made, very precise, very robust, very stout. Anything you can put under there, it'll sew. You're limited with the size of the thread. Put a size 18, even a size 20 needle in there and sew leather. The diameter of the thread can't be too big because of the thread gap down below, but you can get away with a big thread, a big needle. So medium thread to heavy thread, not too heavy. You'll know what works when you try it. I doubt if it'll take a 69 nylon. You might try it. Less than that, it'll take it. Your quilting, heavy quilting, stuff like that. But this one right here is a gem. If you can find one of these, whatever you pay for it is what it's worth. I always tell people you can pay too much. Buying the wrong machine, you always pay too much. But when you buy something like this, whatever you pay is what it's worth. The Kenmore 158.904. If you can get one of these, get it. You'll thank me. Appreciate it. Bye now.